Hello and welcome to another splashing episode of Talk to the Fish. Folks, today we continue our special on decompression theory with our second episode, the sequel nobody asked for but everyone needs.
We are tackling today the Boyle's law in action, or as I call it, why your wetsuit squeezes in all the wrong places.
I must admit, all this decompression theory feels like trying to climb Mount Everest, which as a fish is particularly challenging. Let's go.
What Boyle's law tells us is quite remarkable. Underwater, increasing pressure pushes on everything, including pockets of air or gas.
All gas pockets?
Yes, one of the most direct ways we see this pressure working and why it's so critical for divers is how it changes how much space a gas takes up.
Wait, so you're saying the ocean squeezes us when we dive? No wonder I feel so slim at depth. Go on. I can see our viewers' gills flaring with interest.
Boyle's law is absolutely key to understanding decompression theory. Simply put, this rule tells us that for a fixed amount of gas, keeping the temperature steady, pressure and volume are inversely connected.
Inversely proportional. That phrase sounds as complicated as trying to eat spaghetti underwater. Break it down for us.
It means if one goes up, the other goes down by the same amount. If you double the pressure on a gas, its volume gets halved. If you halve the pressure on a gas, its volume doubles.
So when I descend to 10 meters, the pressure doubles and my swim bladder wants to shrink to half its size. That explains so much about my discomfort on deep dives.
Think of it simply. For a set amount of gas, pressure times volume is always a constant. So if pressure goes up, volume comes down. If pressure goes down, volume goes up. That inverse relationship is the core idea. More pressure, less space. Less pressure, more space.
In other words, what goes down must come up, but not too quickly, or we'll have bigger problems than mathematics. Let's see some examples of this principle in action.
Okay, let's picture a balloon underwater. As you descend, the increasing water pressure squeezes it. The air inside compresses, and the balloon visibly shrinks. That's Boyle's law in action. Pressure up, volume down.
So you're telling me if I took my birthday balloon to 20 meters, it would shrink to 1/3 its surface size? No wonder divers don't bring party decorations. But what happens on the return journey?
On the way up, as water pressure decreases, that same shrunken balloon expands again. Less squeezing pressure allows the air to stretch out. The balloon grows. This expansion part during ascent becomes critical in our decompression story.
Fascinating. Makes me think of those divers who hold their breath while ascending. Their lungs are essentially underwater balloons waiting for trouble. What other examples swim in your wise turtle brain?
Let's try with a simple syringe. Pull the plunger back to draw in some air. Now block the tip and push the plunger in. Feel that resistance. You're applying pressure to the trapped air, forcing its volume to shrink. You've increased the pressure and decreased the volume.
Hold your fins. So this explains the pressure in our ears when diving. They're basically tiny syringes getting squeezed by Neptune himself.
Now keep blocking that syringe and pull the plunger out. You're decreasing pressure inside, and what happens? The air expands to fill that space. Its volume increases. Once again, decreasing pressure allows increasing volume.
My brain is expanding with knowledge, much safer than having my swim bladder expand too quickly. I hope our viewers are catching these crucial concepts.
Both examples show the same principle. Squeeze a gas, it takes up less space. Release that pressure, it expands to fill more space. Pressure up, volume down. Pressure down, volume up.
So physics rules the underwater world even more than I do as host of this show. Our viewers should be taking notes because this principle affects every airspace in their bodies. Why does this really matter to divers?
Why does this matter? In summary, Boyle's law applies to all gases underwater, including air in our lungs, equipment, and gases absorbed into our bodies.
So our bodies become gas-filled puzzles underwater. No wonder my fins get twitchy when divers rush their ascents.
The enormous increase in gas volume during ascent is one of the most critical effects we must manage. Boyle's law explains this unavoidable expansion as we come up, showing why decompression procedures are necessary.
Decompression isn't just a fancy word to impress your dive buddies, it's survival. Our bodies are basically pressure cookers in reverse.
This potential for dramatic gas expansion as pressure drops is the fundamental challenge that safe diving practices address. It's why we can't just shoot straight back to the surface from a deep dive.
Regis, you were almost headache-free. You make physics more digestible than plankton. That's all for today, folks. Explaining scientific principles has left my tiny fish brain feeling compressed at depth and expanded near the surface. Next week, we'll tackle When Divers Become Sardines, where we'll discover why rapid ascents can turn your tissues into a packed fish tin ready to burst. Trust me, getting canned is fun at parties, but terrible underwater. Until then, mind your pressure changes, control your ascent rates, and remember, the only thing that should be rapidly expanding underwater is your knowledge.
Forget all the troubles and blues. Dive into the blue. Oh yes, talk to the fish.